What's going on? John with Rough Roads Overland here. We've got an update for you. We moved to Montana.
And cut.
Pretty large update. But in the move, we haven't been doing a lot of adventures since the most recent one that was published. We have a couple of adventures to be working on, like the entire Hawaii trip. Is there anything else that we can edit?
We've got some Big Bear footage from when we went to Big Bear while we were selling the house in San Diego. And I think that's it. We really haven't done all that much.
Yep. So a lot of work to get everything from San Diego to Helena, Montana, where we moved. But now the adventure is finally picking up, and why we're putting together this video for you. So we purchased this van, the Ebon Hawk. It's a 2019 Mercedes-Benz 2500 4x4. Purchased it last year in August. And as soon as we purchased it, I put in a kind of 2x4 frame and a plywood top and used it as a bed when I traveled for some work trips. When we got back, and I believe it was in our Mammoth snow trip, we pulled that out and rebuilt a U-shaped bench. And that was going to be the final format or template for the rear of the vehicle, with the main plan being a Sportsmobile penthouse pop-up camper top installed. I identified that this was an option that I wanted to install on the van pretty early on, and we put a couple of grand down as a deposit to get it installed, but unfortunately it was 9 months was the wait time to get the Sportsmobile penthouse installed. And now we're finally there after 9 months. And
yeah, and the more unfortunate thing is because they are cutting a giant hole in the roof, they don't want to be liable for anything that's inside the van. There's also obviously going to be lots of hot sparks flying around from the metal, so we weren't actually able to build anything really in the van that was permanent. So we've got insulation since we had it out in the wintertime. We did flooring, and then a makeshift bed. That's pretty much all that we've done because we haven't been able to do anything else. So it's exciting to actually get the build going.
Yeah, so we're a week around the corner from them installing and cutting out the huge hole in the ceiling. And with that, we wanted to make sure that we installed electrical on the way down to Texas to get this thing installed. And so in discussing where we were going to start putting some of the electrical components, we decided that the original U-shaped bench frame that we built could be built better, and so therefore
we're making improvements.
Yeah, we gutted it and we're starting over. But that is where you'll see today the work starting basically from scratch, putting in the electrical, framing out the U-shaped bench, and then we won't do water for the trip to Austin, but you'll see the build actually start coming to life now.
Yeah, 1 year later.
I know.
Finally starting.
Alrighty, let's get to work.
Hi.
There you go. Oh, look at that.
Are we in all three?
Almost sinking it straight. Perfect. We'll do the white one first. We're in. Let's give it another push. Good. Ground is secured. Now the hot wire. Sorry, this is awkward. I'm not left-handed. Good.
So close.
We might actually need more of it.
Yeah, it's not that much once you pull it all out.
We have to go to the outlet.
Yep.
in both outlets, and then we also have to go from the power watchdog into backup.
Okay.
We have a hole in the outside of the Sprinter van. And now we have shore power. Wow. Well, not yet. Sooner.
So it doesn't say this in the instructions, but we're gonna add some waterproof silicone to make sure it is fully sealed. What do you think? Sufficiently caulked? I know it's a little messy. Then in the left-hand side was a little difficult.
Yeah, I can see that. There we go. Just making sure all the holes are sealed. Safety first.
Step one. So the next step for the van is to install the flares so that we can see the exact height that the benches should be so that our heads are actually in the flares and we're utilizing the extra space. So this morning, John will be ripping out the insulation that we put in up here. That was just a temporary thing so that we had some insulation for the winter months for snow trips and whatnot. And he will be cutting out the holes. I am going to kind of finish the inside of the flares. They're pretty raw when you get them. So we got some 1/2 inch high density foam, and then we'll be covering that with some fabric. This will add a little bit of insulation and also just add some padding to it. And we're just gonna spray it down.
The door is open, I could walk right in. Ooh, but it's so much harder than it sounds. I know it's closing if I just stand still. 'Cause you won't wait forever, so just hear me out. It is not like I don't want you, just scared to try. Even if the odds are in my favor, I just need more time. So if you wait just a little bit longer, I will treat you right. Treat you right, yeah. Soon as I saw you, I knew it's never right now, right now. 'Cause someone like you wouldn't take that. I don't even try, even try. Soon as I saw you, I knew it's never right now, right now. Someone like you wouldn't take that. I don't even try, even try. I don't even try, You said you leaving tomorrow at dawn. Ooh, and then you asked me if I would come along. I just can't seem to believe in the thought. But everyone says that it's obvious. Soon as I saw you,
The Ebon Hawk is getting holes drilled into it and an entire panel cut out.
How do you feel? And you're trusting me with the saw.
Yep. All right, here
Ready?
goes nothing.
find the blade, please? Oh, wow.
You want me to? Oh, here it comes, here it comes.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, you are doing
Is
great.
there a
Okay.
way to warm this thing up?
Yeah.
You're doing great. What a good bead.
Ready? Steady!
Fire!
And 3, 2, 1, lift. And if you can, grab the edge just as a guider, because there's no black stuff. Okie doke. Now you can do this. Don't touch the black stuff. And then, I know, I don't like this one, but how do you want to do it?
I think we just have to go for it.
Oh, God. Can you put that corner in the top
Yes.
corner? Okay. Are we going for it?
No, towards you a little bit more.
I'm losing my finger grip.
Okay, then we're just gonna have to go for it.
Okay.
A little bit more towards you. Okay.
The leverage.
Do you have a gap?
No.
Oh, okay.
As I'm pushing in, it's sliding it up slightly, so you
Okay.
can see the black right there, but it's just a little scotch. And that's because I pushed it. But I think that's all squeezed in. Push towards me. Okay, we're good. Good morning, squad. So far, we've completed this and this in the last 2 days. So we've got the flares installed. Now we can actually start working on redoing the framing for the U-shaped bench in the back of the van. And also, lastly, wire up the electrical for our trip to Texas. So today will be a lot of woodworking, and we will see how much we get done.
How about I show you around?
All right.
So our main concern was accommodating the water tank at the back here, because having the water distributed over the wheels was ideal instead of just over one, since it's 45 gallons.
Correct. I think
So
what we
heavy.
yeah, what we just, I'd say, aligned on was, if possible, the tank needs to be as close to the rear axles as possible to counterweight the heavy engine. I have a YouTube video on our channel that is us taking this thing up and over the Imogene Pass that was completely empty, and going up was just fine. Coming down, because of the heavy engine, the back end definitely wanted to come up. So we
You're
decided
floating.
for the build, wherever we decided to put the water, it had to be in the back, considering 45 gallons times 8 pounds per gallon. Decent amount of weight here in the back, as well as the electrical. So we've got a lot of those components weighing down the back. However, the U-shaped bench will not be our primary sleeping. This is more for van life and sitting at kind of a...
Having a work area, having a place to eat dinner, things like
Exactly.
that. So that's what we are building today. In order to accommodate the giant water tank, we're building basically two benches that are attached in the very back, skinned with plywood. So we're using 2x2 stock and 1/4-inch plywood. We've also finally, after like a year of having these things in the van, actually bolted them down to the van walls, so they're not going anywhere. So we're gonna start screwing this thing together, add some verticals, and it'll look like a bench real soon.
Absolutely.
Alright, it is now the next morning, and we just finished attaching all of the verticals. So we have the tops of the benches, plus all the plywood skins. The hardest part is there's going to be a piece of plywood at the back, and then one that runs in front of all of this that will skin that part, as well as add stability to the back bench. That one will need to be notched out on all of these little portions, as well as the top guys, so 8 notches on it. So that is what we're going to work on first, as well as building the tops. Then it will be sanded and assembled inside the van, and then we'll just need to add all of the, well, it's just 4 more plywood skins, and we already have the actual bench tops cut. We just need to attach hinges, and those will be good to go. And then we have the last little bit of the electrical work, which we have pretty much everything ready to go in once the bench is built. It just has to be screwed in and attached, and we leave for Texas tomorrow. So lots to do today. Alright, so we've got the plywood piece cut out, so you can see where the notches are going to go. 4 on the bottom, and then there will be 4 on the top that match up with the top pieces of the bench. So we're going to cut those out now. Alright, so notches have been cut, and pretty perfect if I do pat myself on the back a little bit. I realized after putting this in, we will need another vertical piece here in order to appropriately skin this. So we'll cut that one next, and then we're ready to actually start assembling. So we have to put this piece of plywood in before we could actually attach the tops of these. So there's no way it would slide in otherwise. Let's start screwing this thing together. So we just finished screwing the actual benches together. We have to now screw it into the wall pieces and then skin it, and then it will be done. But this thing, I mean, you can see it's not really going anywhere, and that's it, not even screwed into anything. There's not a lot of wiggle. Worked out pretty well.
Yeah, this 2x2 is
Sturdy.
pretty sturdy. You want to show everyone, sit on that piece?
Sure. I'll just monkey on out of here.
I would laugh if that just snapped in half, but it's sturdy.
You want to tell us about the project?
We didn't complete it.
Yeah, unfortunately we don't have the wires we need to safely do the electrical right now. So we've put that on hold, but we have completed the bench and nailed in all of the sides except for this one here. We've done screws, that way it can be removed because we will be cutting holes in that one for the distribution panel and outlet. So yeah, that is the end of this week.
Ooh, you're so strong. I'll hold. So this will be the electrical box. We've got the Victron inverter charger already installed. Our power watchdog, which will be from Shore Power, ensuring that only 30 amps are coming out into the AC in for the inverter. We have many other components that need to be installed, but bottom line, we did not want to rush till failure just so that we could keep almond milk cold.
Yes, that concludes this week's part of the build. We're going to go get some breakfast and pack and head to Texas, where we will see you next week for the Sportsmobile install.
Absolutely. Safe travel. Oh, thank you.
Aww.